Hello everyone, I hope we are all ready because it is time for another cosplay Q&A. Today, my guest is Impatient Cosplay, so everyone please welcome Impatient Cosplay.
Hello, I'm Angelos, the Impatient Cosplayer. Impatient Cosplay, most people call me, and I am well armed.
So, am I. I love this thing.
That's a flashlight.
I had to flex because look at it. Look at it.
Yeah,
I had to flex. It's such a. Oh, I love it. I can't get over it.
I don't know why, but when you posted the image of your trigger guard and the trigger was like, yes, he put a trigger in it. Because, I don't know, for some reason, a lot of people don't put triggers in their...
I like to put triggers in things depending on what they are. For example, like the ball pistol right now doesn't have one because whoever gets it, whoever decides to buy it, I ask them, do you want a trigger? Because some of them have large Space Marine gloves or something, and they just want the trigger out of the way so they can just put their finger around it. No one really sees the trigger regardless, but it's still, it's still nice to know that it's there.
Yeah.
If they need it. So yeah, let me just sort out my OBS.
I'm wondering if it's also some sort of con regulations, because I vaguely remember that somewhere some props aren't allowed to have triggers, and maybe that's why.
I've not heard that in the UK. All I know in the UK is no realistic weaponry. Like I think they have to have an orange tip. So if you have like an AK-47, So hello everyone in chat. How are we all?
Hey, Sue.
This one's going to be a super chill out one because we've got some cool stuff happening, and I wanted it to be a chill stream. So I know my Q&A streams are normally chill, but like I just wanted to just be like, hey, because I'm super tired. I've been doing this, and it's been a day, so But hey, Ranger Creek Cosplay is in chat. He is currently painting. He's currently painting his actual. Minis. Hey, Dragonheart is here. Here she is. Hello, Dragonheart. So yeah, right. You've been cosplaying now for how long?
Since mid 2016. Well, it kind of depends. I started making stuff around mid 2016, and the first thing I finished was, I think, December 2016. But I don't think I've ever posted that, because it's from a game that no one knows called Abyss Odyssey.
Okay, well, I personally don't think I've heard of Abyss Odyssey myself. Yeah. Someone in chat might know Abyss Odyssey, but no, I actually don't. Sadly, sorry about that. But I know you. Well, I say primarily. I'm gonna say primarily. Would you say you're primarily a 40K cosplayer now? I mean, I know you have stuff like that isn't 40K cosplay related stuff, but I mean, would you say your main sort of cosplay is?
It's not intentional, but I like wearing the chaplain a lot.
Yeah.
Because, big cosplays, they get a lot of attention, and people are like, oh, that is so cool. And,
the big boys are here.
The big boys are here, the stumpy boys.
The big stumpy boys.
I feel like it makes people happier if they're like amazed by huge big costumes. So I'm going. I think I don't want to limit myself to just 40K cosplays, but I want to limit myself to big costumes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, I wouldn't say like limit yourself, but like, would you consider your Chaplain Space Marine to be like your main cosplay?
Yes.
Yeah. Because to me now, like after so many years, now I consider my Iron Warrior to be my main cosplay. Hence, I named the page after him. Like it's Iron Warrior cosplay now. But then I have like a Ghostbuster and a Steampunk, and hopefully a Grey Knight soon. And a Krieg. The Krieg is coming along soon, so...
I don't know if the Chaplain will remain the main costume for now, because...
well, yeah, of course.
The behind the blue thing. I'm trying to point at the blue thing.
You're trying to point to the... You're just like... So, in terms of, like, how many cosplays you've got, would you say you've got in sort of a good dozen now, or would you say you've got less?
I have... With the finished Project Redacted, I have 4.
Oh, there you go. That's a good. I'd say that's a good mix because you've got your chaplain. You've got what else? Are you Mercy?
I'm gender bent and very crazed Battle Mercy. Yes,
Battle Mercy.
Or as I like to call her, No Mercy.
No Mercy. See, I like that.
Because
That is
she
a
has
good name.
no more mercy to give.
I like that. I'm actually going to tilt my light down a touch because.
And the no mercy thing was kind of an
being
accident because I
blinded.
tried to make a very accurate mercy, and then when I did the black wash on the very white uniform, I realized, okay, I can't get the whole rest of the costume white again, so now it's going to be battle damaged, and then I did that.
Oh, no, don't worry. I'm not forgetting the orange armor. I just have no idea where in the list it's going to go. Like, especially with the Grey Knight and stuff, I just have no idea where it's going to go. So we'll see. Right now, hopefully it's going to be Krieg first, and then whatever I can decide to do. Like, it's, thanks to COVID, everything's all over the place, and, I'll work it out at some point.
Well, you're flexible, so...
Exactly.
okay.
Well, I personally know I have the bones of a 90-year-old. But I can bend when I need to. Like, not very good, but yeah. So, why do you cosplay? Like in general, as a whole, you yourself, why do you cosplay?
For one thing, I've always liked just building stuff.
Yeah.
Like generally, I remember building an Apache attack helicopter from cardboard, which looked terrible when I was like 12 or something. And I also like looking at the faces of people that are like when they see the costumes. I like amazing in people and making them happy that way.
Yeah, there's always that. You get that warm, fuzzy feeling when somebody really appreciates the work that you've done to your cosplay, or the cosplay as a whole.
Yeah, or just is happy that.
Yeah.
Oh look, it's thing.
It's hashtag this thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Dragonheart has dropped the links
into
the chat now for Impatient Cosplay, Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if you have anything else. Do you have like a Twitter or anything like that?
I have Twitter, but Twitter is terrible.
There you go. We'll just leave it as Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. I am on Twitter occasionally, but mainly if I want to rile myself up and have a bad day.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, but I don't post there as often as I'd like. And at one point, I was thinking about just changing my Twitter to just me instead of my Iron Warrior cosplay one. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. So in terms of like cosplay in general, where would you say you would see yourself in 10 years? Do you think you'll still be cosplaying, or do you think...
Probably. I mean, in 10 years, I'll be well over 40. And provided my knees don't give out, I'd like to keep going, because it's fun. Well, I'm going to run out of space, but...
I mean, that's the thing. It was either going to be your knees that go first or the amount of space you've got. Because right now, my space, I don't have much space. And I think I'm taking that as a blessing that my knees are okay.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, it's my sanity that will go first.
That's already gone. So I'm safe in that regard.
Good. There you go. Like at least you know your sanity's gone. You're sane enough, but also insane enough to know that your sanity is gone.
Well, as Socrates says, the only wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. And the same is true for insanity.
Well, look at that. What quoting? Look at this. This is some top tier Q&A guest right now. And
Stop it, you.
Socrates used to say. No, I'm joking.
But isn't it Socrates?
Is it Socrates?
No, I'm kidding. It's someone hasn't watched his Bill and Ted.
Oh no, I watched some Bill and Ted, but I haven't watched the newest one. I know it's not properly come out yet, but I watched the trailer for it a bunch of times because the trailer's come out. But I haven't watched Bill and Ted in a long time. I do love Bill and Ted though. Like excellent. Yeah. I should go get my iron base.
It's one of the few German dubs that I actually would recommend to people if you speak German.
Fair. I mean, I would love to learn German. I would love to know German fluently. If I could just like if I could pluck a thing out and just like instantly put it to bed and know something, it would be. I'd love to be able to speak German.
I am so surprised you would say something.
No, I would love to learn German. Just like I would love to be able to go to Germany then and just like not be completely lost. Like I'd be able to read signs and talk to people and order food and make friends.
Oh, the talking's probably fine. I have a friend who moved moved from the United States to Berlin, and he said he got kind of annoyed because he wanted to learn German, but Germans just responded in English when they noticed that he doesn't speak German.
I mean, if they sort of mix in a little bit of German,
Yeah.
like, you could do that. Oh, bye. Have fun in your conference call. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you so much for coming along. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, thank you for coming along. So yeah, you said like you could see yourself cosplaying in 10 years. You'd see yourself still doing it.
It kind of depends on the community and how that develops, because I've seen communities turn really nasty over time. And if that happens, I hope not, because it's a really nice community at this point. But if that happens again, I'm just all right. I've had my time. I haven't had my fun. See ya.
True. Well, and Dragonheart. By the way, Dragonheart, I didn't make you. I asked if you would. I asked, like, would you like? Because I really love hearing the German language. There's something about it. I think it's such a beautiful language.
Schmatzen, Griezen, Bratzen.
But I think
that wasn't German.
I think it's such a beautiful language as a whole. I just really, really like it. There's some other languages I really like the sound of too, but like personally, I really like the sound of German. I think it's really nice. I cannot stand French. I don't like just. There's something about just.
I may have coaxed one of my French friends into chat. So
sorry if you're in chat and you're French. Sorry.
In her own words, she said that French is a weird language. So maybe.
I have a very difficult relationship with French, as the fact, like I was learning English at the time. And I was being forced to learn French, and it was just too much for me. So I ended up dropping out of my French class so that I didn't have to actually learn it, because I don't need to learn it. I'm not going to France. Like I
don't fault you for that. I had to learn it in, I think, 3 different schools.
Oh, wow.
And I bounced off of it almost every time, and only after meeting Sue Cosplay, who is feeling outraged at this point in time.
I feel outraged. Sacre bleu!
That's probably the only time I ever had contact with the French language outside of school.
I get what you mean about the vocabulary with that, but I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the French class for a couple of months. I'm trying, but when you get yelled at by your French teacher in French, kind of puts you off just a little bit. It would be like if Desiree decided to come over to Wales to visit Harry and see me and stuff, and then she would come to my house and I would yell at her in Welsh for not knowing Welsh. It would just be like, what? It's just not a nice thing to do. But also I love that Disneyland is in France. Well, you could go to Disneyland in America, and you could go to Disneyland anywhere, really.
What's that line? Tell someone that you love them because people need to hear it, but yell at them in German because life is confusing or something along those lines.
There's an amazing meme like that, and I absolutely love that one. So, I know, ignoring COVID, I have to say these, because of some of these questions are sort of, when COVID wasn't happening, these questions mostly made sense.
You remember?
In terms of forgetting COVID, do you prefer to work by yourself or with others? But then when I say preferred, I mean, would you rather work by yourself, or would you prefer to have somebody working with you on a project?
I've never worked with someone in terms of cosplay.
Wow. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I live kind of out of the way inside of Germany. Everyone essentially has to go away from me to go anywhere.
Okay. I'm that's pretty much like where I live too. Ranger Creek Cosplay can vouch for that. I have to leave here and go to actually get to places where there's an event going on. It's never here.
Yeah. As to working with other people, I quite frankly don't know. I like letting people. I like teaching people what I know. Like if they're stuck on something, or if I have a solution to a problem that they're encountering. I like teaching people that. As far as group cosplays, I led an airsoft team for 8 years. Sorry, and that's a lot of work. Group stuff is a lot of work.
I agree when it comes to if you're doing a group cosplay. I agree that's a lot of work, but I'm thinking more along the lines of, like, for example, when I laser cut the chest piece for Ranger of Creed Cosplay, I considered that us working together because I did the design for him and we measured it out, we measured him, and we working together. But then once it was all cut out, I handed it all the pieces to him, and then he Dremeled it, and then I test fitted it on him, and then we worked out the clips, and I measured, and like we helped each other out, and I think I really enjoy that. Working with somebody else to like make something either for them or for you. Like, I mean, again, he has helped me in such a big way to make this gun, like measurements wise, because he has his own, and he told me like, oh, the bayonet goes here, it's this long, it like attaches like this, and there's some things that I've worked out myself, like for example the way I attach the bayonet and stuff, like that kind of stuff. I decided to go a different route, but again, it's nice helping each other. But it depends. If you've never worked with anyone cosplay-wise, maybe at some point, if you ever decide to, you could work with someone and see what it's like.
By the definition you just mentioned, I have worked with people. I have a 3D printer. Actually, I have 2 3D printers, and I occasionally print stuff for other people.
Ah, there you go. So that's kind of cool because, same with my friend Andrew. He helps me. I help him. Like I laser cut him some circles and stuff the other day, and he's 3D printed me some parts for the box I'm doing for the heavy bolter and etc. So it's nice to sort of help each other out, but it's also nice to sort of know that you've got friends there that can help you.
Yeah.
But
it's also nice to have a day where you can just go, world, you over there. I'm
yeah, absolutely. That's why I like this workshop. I can just shut all the doors, close the door, and just like, this is where I live now. And just put some music on and just I've been here sometimes at like 3 o'clock in the morning just working on something. I mean, I was here until like 2 o'clock in the morning working on that one night because I was.
I mean, the two also aren't mutually exclusive. You don't have to be either liking working with people or not liking working with people. It's sort of a mix for me.
Ranger of Creed Cosplayer said I can affix bayonet, so I'm going to affix bayonet. There we go. Bayonet is now affixed. Let's do this. Like so charged into battle now. I do love that thing.
What I will tell you that since Project Redacted was sort of a secret project. Not just sort of a secret. It was a secret project. It was so hard seeing people online having problems that I had encountered and found solutions for like a couple of weeks. It's like, do I tell them?
Yeah.
I generally try to tell people without telling them what the project was, but it's kind of hard to do.
You could have relayed information to people without telling them at all what you're doing.
I tried. Usually I tried.
For example, like, how do you do the translucent thingy? It's like, well, I do it like this, and just that wouldn't give them any information to exactly what you've created. But at least I was right. At least I was right. I was like,
yes.
So that makes me incredibly happy. So like as soon as I heard your voice, I was like, and what you were saying, and I was like, I was right.
The voice effect. So for reference, Diffricat has already seen the trailer. Dun dun dun!
It's so good.
I can't
it's so good, and it's making me want to do one. Like not as a reveal trailer, but I just want to do a cool trailer and just have it running on my Facebook page as the cover photo.
Yeah.
Just have it running.
That's a great idea.
That'd be really cool. Like, luckily, I know loads of people that could help me with that. So,
though I must say, I can't take credit for the cinematography and stuff because someone else did that. A colleague of mine does that occasionally as a hobby, and I contracted him to shoot the video and edit the video because I hate editing.
I only edited. When I say I edit videos, I record the video on my phone, transfer it to my PC. I add a transition at the beginning and the end, add my intro to my videos, and that's it. Like, I do all the video stuff. Like, I probably record a video twice, sometimes maybe 4 times, depending on what kind of day it is. Also, we've got if you use 2 3D printers, is that 9-dimensional printing?
Technically, no.
I tell you, you've got 2 3D printers. If you've got 2 3D printers, why don't you 3D print a 3D printer?
Because it takes so much time.
I'm kidding.
Actually, no, hang on. Before 3D printers were commercially available, after the patents had run out, which prohibited people from making their own, it was sort of a tradition to, when you had assembled your first 3D printer, you would print the parts for a new one.
Yeah. That's I can see that being a thing.
Yeah.
Like
I have printed upgrades for the FDM printer.
Oh, sweet. I know Andrew as well. My friend Andrew has upgraded his 3D printer by using his current 3D printer to make parts of it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's being like replicating stuff. It's just so badass.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
So, right. So here's another question for you. By the way, if there's any questions in chat, be sure to throw them in. If I miss it, I know my mod will be like at me and just yell at me. What is your favorite cosplay? And I'm probably going to guess it's Project Redacted. But if you had to pick out of your cosplays, which one's your favorite?
So far, it's actually the Chaplain.
Yeah, I actually had a feeling you were going to say that. I had a bit of a feeling.
I'm sort of leaving Project Redacted out because I haven't been able to take it anywhere yet, except for shooting.
There's that gray area, like you can wear a cosplay in your house or your workshop and stuff, and that's fine. But the real test is when you go to a convention and you're wearing it all day. That's when you figure out, ooh, that needs fixing, or this is a pain, or that needs doing, or this needs tightening up. So I get where you're coming from there, because, like, for example, with the Power Fist, it took us like one convention to figure out there was a lot wrong with it, like wearing wise. So,
I already know a couple of things that Project Redacted needs fixing with, because we had to shoot the trailer twice, and the first time it took us 7 hours.
Oh, wow.
Some of which was spent trying to find a location.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of stuff that just doesn't work. So I think I can go into some detail without spoiling the surprise.
Well, I was going to say, like, where was that trailer for? Was it like in an underground car park?
Yes.
Ah, cool. That's a cool location.
Right outside the photographer's house, essentially.
Oh, brilliant! It's like right there.
Yeah.
Great.
So I had written the script for the trailer. Script sounds so presumptuous, but I had written how it was going to go.
Yeah.
And how I had envisioned it in my mind was at dawn with the Project Redacted in the penultimate scene, sort of being silhouetted against the dark, against the.
That was a good shot.
Yeah. But it didn't work, so that's why we had to reshoot, and that's why the major delay happened until last Sunday when the trailer was finally finished.
Finished, yeah. And you said he did all the editing for the trailer in the end.
Yes.
And yeah, cool. So, I'm gonna guess it might be Project Redacted, but I'll ask you anyway. What's your most expensive cosplay to date?
Definitely Project Redacted.
It is Project Redacted. I kind of guess it would be.
Yeah,
I was thinking. Like, I read the question just now while you were replying, and I was kind of like, yeah, I think I know what it is.
I even switched from the Chaplain was primed with Plastidip, which is hugely expensive.
Wow, that's so crazy.
It took 13 cans of Plastidip to cover that thing. Just the priming cost me like 200 euros.
Oh God, why? Why would you?
Because I didn't know better. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is the best priming thingy." This was before I had encountered your page.
Oh, that hurts so much. Oh God, that actually hurt me internally.
Yeah. Even though for Project Redacted I didn't use.
Let me just introduce you to my good old friend.
I knew you were going to do that, and I used the equivalent. Des had found some equivalent to it recently, and I used that.
Good. This thing is beyond my. When I built my Space Marine back in the day, I bought a brand new tin of this. It lasted me 3 years, and that's all the props I did. I was painting the Space Marine twice over. I did the Space Marine twice. I did first, then the second one. I did a bunch of props, my boarding shield, my heavy bolter, my bolt pistols. I did everything with it until it finally finished. And I was rubbing the bottom of the tin, and I was like, sad times, so that tin went. And then I bought this one, and it's still so full, and I've painted so many props with it. But yeah, I had to...
Is rubbing the bottom of the tin some sort of euphemism?
No. I mean, I took the paintbrush and I was literally scraping the bottom.
I know.
It was like, please tell me there's some caked-in gold mine at the bottom of this thing.
But yeah, even though for Project Redacted I didn't use Plastidip at all, it's still a lot more expensive. It also looks a lot better. Sorry, Mr. Chaplain, who is standing over there, but it looks...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen the finishes you can get with Plastidip on, small props and guns, and, that's really cool. I know with roof sealer back in the day when I would paint it on, I used a really big brush, like literally the biggest brush I had to paint the Space Marine, not all the other props, but the Space Marine. So I would paint the entire Space Marine with the paintbrush and everything. And yeah, it left brush strokes, but now I paint on the roof sealer. And
And they use
after I'm
full
done,
brush.
I get a sponge roller and I run the sponge roller over it, and it gives it a nice texture, but it gets rid of all the brush strokes.
I should have done that much sooner as well, but again, I only met Des and her foam roller trick after the chaplain was already finished.
No, but that's fine. That's fine. But no, I agree with the chat as well. I'm not a fan of Plasti Dip when it comes to how expensive it is and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's also on the chaplain. It rubs off in a couple of places. Leak seal is a lot more resilient, but it's also even more expensive than Plasti Dip. I used it on Mercy. Mercy is sealed in leak seal.
What's leak seal? Is that like roof sealer or?
It's essentially somewhere between roof sealer and Plasti Dip. Apparently, it's used to seal like rain pipes. If they're
I got you. Yeah.
But the main thing why I'm not using it anymore, the price, I could get behind the price. I don't buy the whole material stuff at once. I spread it out, so it's possible to make it sort of affordable for the month to fit in the budget. But the main reason I'm not using it anymore is even with my ventilated spray booth, the smell of leak seal was inside of the entire... I live in a 2-apartment house. It filled the staircase for 3 days with the stench.
Yeah.
Even though I have a filtered ventilated spray booth.
I don't think roof sealer smells at all. It does smell of something, but I don't think it's not potent or pungent or anything. But I tell you what it does do though is because it turns to rubber, if you get some on your clothes and you wipe it off, it's going to stay there forever. It turns to rubber. It's
the same with the stuff that does recommended. It's called Griffin something.
It's literally... I love the stuff. I recommend it to every cosplayer I know. The only downside is obviously I did recommend it to Desi, and she said that you guys can't get it where you are. That's a massive shame. So there was literally at one point I was thinking to myself, if I bought, not the 4 liter that I've got, but if I bought like the 2 liter tin, if I packaged that and sent it, I don't know if it would actually get to her.
That's a good question. I guess we'll just have to make a road trip to Wales and pick up a couple of cans.
You'll have to come up and get like a 4 liter tin. It'll just get one. It'll last you forever. It'll last you like years. It's the best thing. 10 years? No, it doesn't actually last 10 years. But mine lasted 3 years. But I tell you what though, it does rub off eventually. If you took 2 pieces of foam with roof sealer on it after they've been dried for ages and rubbed them together, eventually it's going to rub off. But then, to be honest, anything would.
Even steel. I mean, I'm a machinist apprentice. You can rub off steel, so...
Yeah, exactly. So,
there are limits to what stuff can do.
But
unless you make your costume out of diamond.
In terms of, cost effectiveness and how far it goes, one of these tins, I buy the tin and I've forgotten how much I paid for it. But when I don't think about it, because when I use it, it doesn't take much to cover a prop. I do 2 coats on every prop I do. I do 2 coats. And I think it just works so well. Anyway, I'm not sponsored by them. I should stop talking.
They should.
They should. People have said, but honestly, it's just.
But I think the actual trick is to find something that works for you. In a lot of people use white glue or wood glue. Just use that, and the trick isn't as much, I think, the actual primer that you use, but it is the brush that you use. Now that I've been introduced to the glory that is foam roller paint.
I love foam rollers. Yeah.
It's like I tried this on Pero, which was the costume that I made while covering Project Redacted. I used the foam roller method sort of as an experiment. And it's like, this is almost smooth. It's like I've spray painted this. Why didn't I know of this before? And then this was like, well, everyone knows it. He was like, I've never heard of this. I've never seen it anywhere.
I've looked at people who use Mod Podge, but I don't know if I'll ever use Mod Podge myself.
I'm the same. I see no reason. It's great if it works for you. Same with PVA glue. Sure, go ahead.
I've never used PVA either. I
have. I don't like it. It takes forever to dry.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I've never used it, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, you say thin coats. No, with Thompson's 10-year roof sealer, it's literally one thick coat. It's so you literally just dip your brush in it and then just go. And like the only thing is with roof sealer, you got to watch out with roof sealer. If you have, for example, this is a small muzzle I did. For example, if you're painting this way on here, the paint will catch on the lip here.
Yeah.
And if you let that dry, it dries like rubber. And if you go and peel it off, if it's attached to the rest of the paint, it'll try to catch the paint and try to peel it off.
Yep.
It doesn't actually peel it off peel it off in one big piece. It'll just start peeling off and you're like, oh no. And then when you try to paint over it, it'll leave that little cut out there all the time. So what you have to do is you got to you got to rub it and make sure it doesn't get into crevices and stuff. So always use one brush to paint it on and another
and a dry brush
to get it off.
Yeah.
And then
but
put it.
that is not a function exclusive to Thompson's roof sealer. That happens
no, not
with
at all,
Griffin as well. That happens with, I
Literally.
presume, with Mod Podge, and I know that it happens with white blue as well.
Yeah,
It's the viscosity of liquid. It's just how liquid works.
Well, exactly. But the only reason I mentioned roof sealer more specifically is because that's what I use. I don't really. But that's what. Hey, Atom's Blackfire. Hello, everyone. Hello. I love this. This is a very nice, chilled out chat. I love it. Oh my god, it's already been half an hour. This is crazy. This is how fast these Q&As go.
Yeah.
Right. So if I had to ask you now, I don't know many conventions around where you are, so this is going to be completely new to me. But what is your favorite convention to attend?
Comic-Con Germany in Stuttgart.
Comic-Con Germany in Stuttgart.
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
The people. Well, I haven't been to too many cons, but for some reason, normally when I go to events repeatedly, they kind of, there's a sort of diminishing returns. They aren't as fun next time, like concerts and stuff. But in Stuttgart, it was more fun every time. So that's cool.
I think I found the same with the Sci-Fi Weekender. It just gets more fun every time.
Plus, yeah, Des just mentioned that the walls in Stuttgart are the best. So the Stuttgart Convention Center has AC inside the walls every 10 or 20 meters or something. And in the Space Marine, yes. But
okay.
That is also one of the places where the Inquisitionstrupp 23, which is a German Imperial Guard cosplay group, puts up their stuff. And they have this huge 10-meter wide display where they...
Yeah.
You've seen pictures, right?
I've seen videos on YouTube as well.
Yeah. They have this huge...
I love it so
display,
much.
Which is essentially a battle scene.
Yeah.
That put down sandbags and actual sand. And one time, the first time I went to Stuttgart, the first time I went to any con with the chaplain, or in general, they had a life-sized Hydra anti-air gun made of metal.
That's the video I saw. That's the video I saw with the light. And I swear...
Also really nice people.
I can hear Ranger of Greek Cosplay just painting his models around going, God, I wish I could go to that convention. I'm like, yes, same.
You can.
I know. Well, I mean, if I was to go to that convention, I would literally be like, should I take either the Iron Warrior or should I take my Krieg cosplay? And I'd probably have to go with the Krieg because it's easier to pack up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm going to have to do what Ranger of Krieg Cosplay does. I'm going to have to buy a suitcase so I can fit my Krieg cosplay into it. And just have that as my Krieg suitcase. So I can just grab that anytime I want. It's like, off we go. It's like...
When we were shooting the trailer for Project Redacted, the guy who shot the image was like, Jesus, why didn't you why don't you buy a trailer? Because he's not wrong.
I didn't have to, but I sold my car and bought a van because it's just easier.
Yeah. But even so,
I'm not spying on you. Yes, like the suitcase in Iron Man 2, except it would be...
Oh, that would be so cool.
Instead of moving something, putting it on the floor, the whole the suitcase being the costume, it would be more like zip, 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 open. Okay, first things first, sit down, do the wraps around your legs, and then put the thing on, and just it's just crazy.
I'm wondering to what extent you could actually sort of recreate the suitcase, because to some extent with small armor, I think you could make it. To not obviously with motors going beep, 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 beep.
Well, I mean, I guess if I spring loaded the suitcase, Put all the costume in
example.
there, fold them all up, put the costume in there, get Harry to open the suitcase, and it like slingshot all the clothes towards me. That'll do. I guess
Or
that'll
like
do. Like,
put the zippers on the right position so that you can sort of make the armor
Oh.
into a suitcase, open it up, slip in from the bottom, and plonk, you're in.
that's. Do you know what? Artemis Blackfire has just sort of slammed dunked a reality bomb on us. Like, imagine trying to get your costume through customs on the airplane. I couldn't take a lasgun with a bayonet.
Yes.
I
Well-
would have to use that as like carry on and explain to them that it is a foam prop. But it's not going on the plane, but it's going under the plane, like, in the storage
Yeah.
bay. Like,
In the yeah.
that'd be crazy. They're like a Jack in the Box. Just put a crank handle on. Oh my god, can you imagine? But instead of like da dun da dun da dun da, it would just have to be Sabaton, like through the gates of
Yeah, some sort of
hell.
march
And,
thing.
like, wait for it. As we make
Or
our
the-
way to heaven, and just bah, primo Victoria, bah.
Or the soundtrack to Chaos Gate, which to this day I think is still the most Warhammer soundtrack ever.
It's very, very. I mean, Harry knows literally everything about Sabaton. He's like me with Rammstein, but
Oh, I was talking about the Chaos Gate soundtrack.
Oh, the Kiss. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that bit. My apologies. But Harry, I know Harry listens to Sabaton and gets in the mindset of like, I'm a Krieg. This is a Krieg thing. Because it's so true though. He sent me a music video the other day for one of Sabaton's songs, and I keep forgetting which one it is. I'm sure he'll tell us in the chat now. But someone's edited the music video from a bunch of different war films. And it really puts you in the like a Krieg attaching his bayonet, heavy gas mask breathing noises. Let's go, and it's so cool. So we're definitely gonna have to listen to that, on the way to a convention next time. But
I mean, what was I going to say?
oh, he said no. Bolt thrower is the most Warhammer. Soundtrack
Someone mentioned that to me at some point. I've never really listened to them. I think. I should try
Price of a
that.
Mile. That's the one. I knew he would tell us eventually. Price of a Mile. Like.
Price of a Mile is literally a First World War song, so it would fit to be a Kriegi song.
So well, it fits so well. Right, so on to more questions, because I'm not gonna lie, we are making these questions last. I love it. By the way, we're not like stuck to an hour. I just usually do an hour, but if we go an hour and a half or 2 hours, I'm fine with that. Don't worry.
Same.
So what is your favorite part of cosplay? Not your favorite part of the cosplay you own, but like, what is your favorite part of cosplay? I know you've mentioned the people at that specific convention, but as a whole, is it the people that make cosplay and conventions and stuff? Is that what makes it for you?
Yeah. I think making people smile and happy, and like little kids going, ooh, or adults going, ooh, or myself going, ooh, that's just,
I would love to see you in your chaplain just going, ooh.
I wish I could.
Like, I absolutely love that. That would be
But yeah, it's not only making people happy and, being happy with people, but also just meeting nerds and geeks who I think Simon Pegg, I think, said it, is essentially just being open about enjoying the things you enjoy.
Exactly.
And that is right. Why do I have to hide, liking totally ridiculous and over the top Warhammer stuff? It's cool. Of course it's not real. Of course we don't want to live there. But just look at those pauldrons.
As one of my absolute favorite cosplay heroes ever, Adam Savage, says in his TED talk, let your freak flag fly.
Yes. Yeah.
That sticks with me so well, because I have walked through the streets of Cardiff on a Saturday dressed as a Ghostbuster heading towards a convention, and I've had people stop me, people in the street, just random strangers just shouting like, who are you gonna call? And I'll just like slam on the Ghostbusters theme, crank it up, and just start walking through, and they're like, oh my god. And it gives you such a boost of confidence and feeling good. The most terrifying one, though, is when you've got the music blasting and police, like, walk up to you, and you're just like, you turn the music down, and you're like, oh, I'm terribly sorry, and they're like, hi, can we get a picture with you? And I'm like, of course you can. I thought you were here to tell me to turn the fucking music down. And then they stand next to you, and you get a selfie, and it's really cool.
That happened at a photo walk once. There was a couple of cops, obviously, like, to secure the area and stuff, and it's like, can we take a picture with him? And then someone from a local newspaper is like, yeah, I'll take the picture with you. You should okay if we put in it's like, and then I think, I don't know if I uploaded it, but if I did, the caption would be probably something along the lines of Chaplin working together with local arbiters or something.
That would be really funny. Time to purge. Hi, Iron Warrior and guest. Would you like to introduce yourself one more time for the chat for those who
I am Angelus, the Impatient Cosplayer, usually known as Impatient Cosplay, and I actually know the person. It's Cactor.
It is one Cactor, of the
yes.
It's Daniel. Daniel's a legend.
Yep, he is. He's one of many. Well, one of let's say half a dozen to a dozen cosplays. Warhammer cosplay maybe go. I want one of those.
It's literally like David Roth did that for me. I saw his Khorne Berserker, and I was just like, I need one.
Brother Ball Chills.
Brother Ball Chills, yeah, fair. I went to Comic-Con once as Luigi, and my partner asked if there was a child could have a photo with me. I honestly wasn't expecting that, but it is, isn't it? It's like the nicest thing. Although on the side of my, do you know what? Hold on, let me grab it for you. Just right here.
He told me not to go away before.
This is my first ever prop. This is my first ever prop that I made for my Iron War. Yeah, it's a bolter, yeah, but it's the first ever gun I ever made. I took it to I think my second convention, and it was somewhere. I think it was in Cardiff. Do you see these tally marks? Mm-hmm. These are tally marks that we put on the gun at the convention. It's the amount of kids I made cry that day. I will never add or take away or repaint this. This here is how many kids I made cry at a convention in one day. Some of them, not all my fault.
I don't think I've ever made a kid cry.
Some of them were
honestly, reserved, but...
honestly, some of them were parents, like dads, picking their kid up. They're like 2 or 3 year old, walking towards me with all my red LEDs and my angry ass looking bulldozer face and everything. And they come over, look at the big robot man. And the kid's like, it's going to eat me and kill me. And they like start crying and like scrambling off their like father and second.
I mean, the chaplain's face. I do not understand why no kid has yet cried at the chaplain's face. It's essentially a demon mask.
Project Redacted, that's going to fuck some kids up. I think that's going to.
I don't know.
Kids. I have a feeling that's
the size probably. The size probably.
Size as well, but I reckon the face isn't going to be very because they always look at the face. They always look at my bulldozer helmet, like when I've got the helmet on the red LEDs and stuff. They always look at that and they always like screaming and clambering away.
but I've also had kids put on the chaplain's helmet, which is also a very horrible face. It's like,
true, but it's also hilarious because of their tiny bodies and massive head. Like it's just like. But
there's a picture of one kid wearing my helmet. I normally don't condone uploading pictures of kids, but this kid's face is covered by the Space Marine helmet, so it's fine.
Fair. I always get photos. I give out my cards, and if I have a photo taken with someone, I always ask like, hey, if you want. You know, Harry takes out his cosplay card and mine and says, if you're willing to send the photos to us so we can upload them to the album, great. I always do an album of every con I go to, just pictures of anything and everything. But I always get permission first. I never steal photos. And if there is a photo that someone's put in a comment on another page or on the event page, I always comment underneath and ask, hey, can I save this and upload it to my page? I'm already cosplay. And normally they're fine with it. You know, they you know, so, you know, but you know, it's the way it goes. I know you said nice bolter, but it really isn't. This is the first one I ever built, and it is grim. It's all hot glue and anger, and nothing's cut straight, and it's horrible.
I still have my first bolt pistol over there, and it's
grim. It's grim compared to what,
so
for example,
compared
to what I can make now.
Started from the bottom.
I cannot
started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Exactly. I love that. So, if I had to ask you, even what is your least favorite part of cosplay? I always ask the positive, but occasionally I'll ask the negative. It depends. Still putting no style.
The least favorite. Well, there's
there's
a couple of things I really don't like. One of them is the self-doubt that happens when you compare yourself to others. That's I try not to do it, but occasionally it just happens, and it's like, why am I even doing this? Look at that. Look at that, and then look at where you can see every seam, which no one cares. No one cares. If anyone watching is like working on a cosplay and kind of unsure if the seam is good enough, It is. There's a thing called the 6 feet rule, which means that most people will never get closer than 6 feet. And if you don't see the floor from that distance, it's fine.
Honestly, I genuinely, that is probably some sound advice, because I've had that issue where I've seen somebody who is like, hey, it's my first ever cosplay. Like, I've never built anything in my entire life. And I look at their work and it's seamless. And it's seamless. And it's like,
yeah.
and then they paint it over, and then they skin it with like 2 mil foam, and then they'll add the details, and there's no seams at all. Then, you know, and I'm just sat there looking at mine like, like, but I try my best not to focus on the bad side of things too much. For example, that bolter, I barely take that to events anymore because I don't like it. Sometimes I'll take it and I'll use it as an example, going, here's what I made when I first ever made a gun. This is literally the first gun that's literally the first gun I had ever made in my entire life. I never made a weapon since. I built the Marine with David and Marcus at the Play Expo, but then I made that weapon when I got home. And I did it all by just looking at it. I had my screen, and I would put paper on the screen, and I drew around to pick a shape of a bolt, and that's how I did it. I knew nothing back then. I knew nothing, Jon Snow. And but then
I have the right beard.
But then you look at this, and then you look at the bolt pistol I made like literally the other day on stream.
Yeah.
And it's like look at the barrel. The barrel is lovely, and then look at the barrel. Like, it's not cut straight. It looks grim. It's squishy.
The barrel for my first bolt pistol is essentially just a tube of caulking that I cut up.
You see, but it works.
You get better. You get better over time, and it's. You know, the thing is, people usually just upload the best pictures of whatever they want to something. You know, you really go, oh, I failed there, which is why it's so important for people like Adam Savage to do upload, you know, less than stellar performances of themselves.
The way
so
I see
it's
it with
really
Adam,
important not to compare yourself to, I don't know, don't compare yourself to Kamui, don't compare yourself, if you're just starting out, don't compare yourself to Howl Cosplay. You know, it's their job. You don't compare yourself. You don't compare your driving to, I don't know, Michael Schumacher or something.
Yeah, that's you know, like you said about Adam Savage just now. Like, have you watched his like live streams and stuff? Like, he screws up all the time.
Yeah, that's how success happens,
and it's amazing to watch. It's like when I watched him screw up I was watching his live stream and I watched him screw up big time. He glued the wrong piece to the wrong side. And he literally just looked at the thing, and he was just like, and he literally put it on the table. He took his glasses off, put it on the table, and he's like, God damn it! I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, and then he just like, never mind. He just brushed it off and just sorted it out. And I was just like, if someone as amazing as him can screw up like big time, like something as simple as putting the wrong piece in the wrong place. Like,
we are not machines.
If he can screw like that, that's the best, because like that just gives me more confidence, if anything.
Yeah, same. That's why it's very important to. I think it's very important, and I really applaud people who upload bad stuff, which I do.
I also like Casual Props saying tracing against the monitor is a completely valid method of building if you don't have a printer. I didn't have a printer at the time that actually worked, because I had broken the printer, printing all of the Space Marine pages out.
Yeah.
I had the printer; it was printing out and everything, and the one of the gears, I don't know what happened. It just went, and it would just spinning, and you could hear it grind, and we had to get another printer, which I paid a little bit towards because I'm the one who used it and broke it. So yeah, but you know, now though, I don't really need to print out anything. I have my my big fuck off Space Marine file, which is like literally the huge plastic see-through folder which has all the paper patterns in it to build a Space Marine, which I'm using with my friend Marcus to build his Space Marine. And, you know, I don't need to print out much anymore because I have a laser. And the best thing about a laser is, half the time, for this, for example, for the butt of the gun, all I did was I used the laser on quite a high intensity on a slow speed to do the outline of the shape of the butt of the gun 4 times on 10 mil foam, but instead of waiting a good maybe 2 hours or 3 hours for it to cut through each piece, the laser did that, and once it was done going around like 3 times on each one, it would bugger off to the end. I took the foam off and then used the bandsaw to cut them all
It essentially
out.
becomes your template
Glue
printer.
glue them all together, do the aluminium thing that I did. I dug the channel out for the aluminium, bent the aluminium, glued it all together, and then sanded it and cleaned it up on the bandsaw because I was going to round it off anyway. So I've rounded it off. As you can see, I've rounded it off completely. So, it's not it's not like,
I do the same thing, but mostly out of necessity because something about my printer configuration isn't working properly, so it takes forever to cut stuff out. So I just let it cut a couple of times and then use that as a template.
Oh, your laser?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. You might be the intensity settings, you never know.
I'm guessing that the diode is on its way out. I'm probably going to get a new one. And this time, I'm not going to get the cheap one, but actually one of the El Cheapo ones. It's sort of a in brand. Like there's a community about the sort of printer that you and I have, called the Laser X Facebook group or something. And there's a guy there who makes lasers, and he selects the individual diodes for power and efficiency.
Wow. I wouldn't mind getting if I could get a 30-watt laser.
I'm pondering getting a CO2 laser because they can cut acrylics.
See, I like CO2 lasers, but you can only get them in little cases. I say little. You can get them as big as as much money as you've got. You can get a really big one.
Yeah.
But the sort of budget,
the affordable ones.
You lift it up and you can only cut small parts out of it. I mean,
Yep.
to be honest, cutting small parts with the CO2 laser is probably easier and better than doing it with the big laser. But if I can be completely honest, the only things I ever cut out on the laser that are small are, like, for example, the trigger guard on this, or maybe the circular details. But most of the time these days, I've got different size pipes that I just use
I do that too.
to cut circles out. So I have had a question in the chat. Iron Cosplay, how would either of you go about making a faux null wood? So make the stock look like it's wood?
I have been given a technique for that at some point because I saw someone making a great, awesome, I think shotgun with wood that looked real. I don't know what material he used. I don't know if it was foam, but essentially what he did was using a very rough rasp to cut sort of grooves in it that looked like old wood does, and then the right combination of paints. That's all.
Me, on the other hand, I use my Dremel. One technique you can do is take a standard sanding drum, loosen the screw, and lift the sanding drum just a little bit proud of the actual bit, so it's not flush like it's meant to. Stick it out a little bit, and use the edge of that to do very fine lines along the wood. Don't do the entire length all the time. Do it like the entire length a few times, but then stop occasionally and skip something and just do random bits. But then I use this thicker stone grinding bit, and I use it completely flat to make some of them deeper, and I'll go a bit deeper with some of them. But then to finish it all off, I use a completely round and perfectly 90-degree stone bit that's like really big, and I use it exactly at I use it at that angle all the time, and I will hold the piece flat in my hand and do it at an angle back and forward, not just in one direction but backwards and forwards, and that way you get a really nice wood grain effect. And occasionally, then obviously, if you want a knot in it, just do like a bit of a circle.
Do it a little circle,
Dremel it flat.
That's essentially how Dragonheart does it, and she mentioned that she sent me her tutorial, which I agree is a very good tutorial. And
her tutorial is awesome. If you want, link your tutorial.
I've actually used that technique on Project Redacted.
Oh yeah, on the
on the things on the leg.
On the things and the things.
The things with the stuff.
I hope that that explanation was okay for you in regards to how to do wood effects. I really
how to get wood.
How to get wood. Oh, you. This is a family show. No, I'm joking.
I didn't do anything. I just said how to get wood.
I did ask Nerd Princess whether she wanted this done in a wood effect with my Dremel, but her art, like the way she paints, she can make this look like wood with only paint.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can just paint it.
It's crazy awesome what she can do. So, but yeah, that's how I would do mine. They're talking. Oh, not the damn sandwich again. It's just.
That's something I wanted to get to at some point as well, because we talked about techniques before, and it's like a lot of people get hung up on, oh, how should I prime? What glue should I use? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
You
It doesn't
use
matter.
whatever's cheaper for
If you build, and I've actually seen this. I've seen last time in Stuttgart there was a Lego Batman who was about as tall as my Space Marine, made of cardboard and duct tape.
That's the best.
Black stuff, and you had to get really close to notice it. He couldn't move because Legos aren't made for mobility.
No.
But he looked like real. He had the right sheen because of the duct tape, and he had the right proportions and everything. Don't get hung up on the tools. Don't get hung up on the methods. Just get to your goal, and how by any means necessary, legal.
But you say they're not very good for moving everything. Have you seen Heinrich, who's made a Lego spaceman from the Lego movie? You know, the one that goes spaceship.
I know Heinrich, isn't it?
Heinrich.
Yeah.
Pilrud. I'm
yeah,
really bad.
I've seen that one.
Sorry if I'm like butchering his name. I would love to actually chat to. I'm not gonna lie. I've got him as a friend on Facebook, and I've spoken to him a lot while I was building this thing. I couldn't believe it when I was messaging him on his page. He was like, "Just add me," and sent me his personal page, and I was just like, so like kind of like cosplay god. Like thing is, though, I feel personally. He was ground zero, wasn't he? He was the one.
To some extent, yes.
He was
because
the one.
His huge power fist. And stuff,
he was the one who made the original files, like for.
I don't know. I've seen people make I've seen someone make a Grey Knight way before Pillarrod's pictures, but again, with the internet being the internet, it's sometimes hard to see when something actually was created versus when you saw it.
Exactly. But to me, all I could see personally was Heinrich's designs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the Pepakura files that he made, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
Or Gary Steele. Gary Steele?
Oh, Gary Steele as well. Made the Power Fist, the 3D printed Power Fist. That was amazing to see. That's what I've got here.
Though, and I think, sorry to interrupt you, but
you're not. It's fine. Like.
One of the most underappreciated guys, I think, is Wellington Ironman, because he has a whole video tutorial series on how to turn the Pepakura files for a Space Marine into an actual Space Marine.
See, that's what you need. Like, if you could link me that series,
I have to Google it.
No, you don't have to do it now. Like, not while we're on stream. Don't worry, do it after stream.
I can do it now. It's no problem.
What we can do is I can use those because the amount of people who come to me asking. How to do this, how to do that. I send them the Pepakura program. I send them the download link for the files. I send them everything that they need. But the only thing I can't do is explain to them how to do it, because a lot of them are like, how do you put them together and how do you do this? If I could send them a list of tutorial videos on how to do it, that would be great. If you could send me that on Facebook, by the way.
I'll put a link in the chat.
Yeah, if you could send it to my Facebook as well, because that's going to vanish quite quickly.
I just noticed that the man has 1,400 subscribers, and that's a crime.
Yeah, he needs more subscribers, I swear. Pop that to me on Facebook as well. Right, so, back to the questions.
Back to why we're here.
Right, this one I always have highlighted in black. The reason being is it's quite an important question. I always ask my cosplay guests this. It's become a thing now, and I like to ask them honestly. So, in all seriousness, what is cosplay to you as a person? Like,
it's for one thing, it's a hobby. It's a huge sink of time and money, but one that I gladly sink time and money into.
Of course.
And it's greatly a form of self-expression, even though you're making other person's creations to an extent. What you make and how you make it says something about you, and it's a very welcoming community. Maybe this is relative to the previous community, which was Airsoft, which is not very welcoming at all. But in cosplay, everyone's like, "Hey, that's so cool! I wanted to know how to do X, and you did it." And how, there's very little standoffishness. There's very little. You're moving into my turf. With that
yeah. I mean, it's nice to see. For example, like when I spoke to Ranger of Creed Cosplay. Granted, I know I didn't have to, but I felt like that. I felt like, I don't want to move on to his turf because I know it's not. I know it's not his turf, but like the amount of Kriegers I know, the amount of like Kriegs I know in the UK, I know a few now, thanks to Harry and cosplay in general. But to me, the main Krieg is always Ranger of Krieg cosplay, which is Harry. So when I was like, I'd love to make a Krieg cosplay, I went to him and was like,
You asked for permission.
can I make a Krieg cosplay? His reaction was my
Please,
favorite.
sir, can I have some more Krieg?
His reaction was my favorite. He was more than happy to help me, and he's linked me to a bunch of stuff and helped me with a load of stuff.
Yeah, that's my experience as well. There was, I don't know if you've seen that, the Ultramarine Primaris that was just a couple of days ago making the rounds.
Oh, the space
Otacon,
is that
yeah.
the spacesuit guy who's made a fully functioning one? Yeah.
I messaged him because I noticed, or I think he said it in the video, that he uses bearings to mount the arms and essentially sticks his arms to the bearing.
Yeah.
And I've had that idea, or I've encountered that idea a couple of years ago, but it never occurred to me to just print it. And I messaged him, he's like, yeah, sure, just do that. And oh, by the way, airsoft pellets make great bearings. He's like, oh, right, yeah, I can make everything myself now.
Well,
thank you.
I have a friend of mine, I think a few people in chat know him as well, Daniel Knox, Knox's Workshop, I think. He's currently building a few Primaris Space Marines. He's done the same. He bought the roller bearings. I think he bought them, or they bought them or printed them. Correct me if I'm wrong, I've forgotten. But he has roller bearings exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. No, it's not Angelus Knox. He's a UK cosplayer. Daniel Knox. No, not Daniel.
I am Angelus Knox.
You're Angelus Knox. Daniel Knox is what I'm. I think it's Daniel.
Workshop.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But no, Quarion 699. This is Angelus Knox. Say this is my cosplay guest. Yeah, he has roller bearings. He has roller bearings, and I think Knox is spelt Knox.
Yeah,
like
with
that.
like 4 knobs.
He has roller bearings in his shoulders, and they look really cool and everything. And then, like, I look at that, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. But then I look at mine, and it's just like, it's a bolt that's bent in the holes, but they work exactly the same.
The chaplain's joints are essentially, not just essentially, they are casters for like little carts that I took the wheels out.
That was my first set. My first ever shoulder mounts were exactly like David Roth's, which were the wheels, and then I put the connector in the shoulder so that you could just pop them on, and then they would be. But the only thing is, I didn't have this. I didn't have this rotation. I had that, but I didn't have this. If I'd mounted them that way instead of that way, I would have been able to do this. But back then I didn't think about it. It's the way it goes. But yeah. In regards to that cosplayer, he is amazing. I did look at a few things on his suit that I was kind of like, that bugged me a little bit.
All the time.
The gap between his chest and his midriff, occasionally he like lifts himself up occasionally, and it separates, and you can see him. And I was just
that's
like,
a common problem with the files that Hendrik uses as well, because the abs from that file are too short. You have to lengthen that.
Yeah, I've done it with mine. I had to lengthen them by a good 30 mil or 40 mil. So,
two things from chat. So Melon Ditani said, smart thinking. I can't take credit for that. I took the idea from Wellington Ironman, which is the guy that I linked to previously. And Harry called me, said, I am Alfarius Nox.
Alfarius Nox. I saw that when I saw Harry.
Did you just call me a heretic?
I got the I got the idea for the wheels from David Roth, because that's what he's got. He's cosplay daddy. He is my cosplay daddy. He's amazing. He's the one who got me started on it all. Question: what is the worst part about building your own cosplay? Spending the money.
Not being finished when you want to.
There's that, but I'm never usually in a rush. But it's mainly like, when you buy the foam and buy all the tools and stuff. It's like but it's worth it in the end. So
I have sort of budgeted around that, so I have a certain amount of money every month available. That's like, this can go to sort of the disposable income essentially. Goes to that.
Currently, I've got no disposable income. I made some money from this commission, and then I've got my GoFundMe for my Krieg cosplay.
You still have to send me your PayPal for that. You haven't sent me your PayPal, because GoFundMe only allows credit cards, and mine's maxed out.
From cosplay, by any chance? Hopefully, that's not from cosplay.
No, it's because PayPal were being A words earlier this year and for no reason locked my account. So I had to put my Dropbox and some other subscriptions onto my credit card, which is now maxed out.
Oh man. Well, don't worry about that. I'm sure PayPal. I'm sure you can like email PayPal a very strongly
Oh,
worded.
it's solved, but the card is still maxed out, or the card is still maxed out.
See, now we need to help you out. Now we need to get you and get your card.
It's not that I don't have the money. It's just I keep forgetting to pay off the credit card. And with con season being cancelled, which was the only reason why I have why I used the credit cards in the first place, because you need a credit card to book hotels.
Question from Daniel Caxscore. Questions. Are you good or evil, and explain why? I'm evil, and the reason being is because chaos is better.
There is no such thing as good or evil. It depends on who you ask. Are you asking me as a person, or are you asking the chaplain?
For chaos. Hold on, actually. Ha 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 ha.
Heresy detected!
Hold on. Let me just do the thing. Haha! For chaos! It's in the chat as well. I love it.
For the Emperor!
I don't think there's any way to explain why I prefer chaos. It's just better. It's more fun. I find it more fun. I don't know what it is. Like the loyalists, they abide by rules and regulations and.
It depends on the chapter. Spaceballs.
Your echo is on, Dan. Your echo is on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You shouted for the Emperor without the echo, and then you stopped. And then,
well, damn. Well, damn.
Your cosplay is
well,
evil,
the Messiah has betrayed me.
You are a friendly gentleman. I'm very happy with the armor that you made for me. I'm glad. I
can confirm.
I made Merlin. I made him guardsman armor, Imperial Guard armor. And as I've said, and I will be doing this, as I've said, I will absolutely do this. When I eventually sort out a file for an Imperial Guard helmet, you have an Imperial Guard helmet coming for free because I owe you an Imperial Guard helmet.
I might have the files for that. I'll check later.
Are they laser?
Probably Pepakura.
Ah, okay.
But easily exportable.
Yeah, true. I'll have to export them over. But yeah, as I've said, you get a helmet because I feel a helmet should have been part of that armor, and the fact that you didn't have those kind of bugged me. So I'm gonna do you a helmet so you can have a helmet. The helmet should be pretty easy. It should be like two side pieces, the back piece, the top piece, then the should be all right. But anyway, more questions.
Hang on, let me. I have one more thing to say to Daniel, because to answer this question a bit more in universe, my chapter is technically Renegade, but it's because we have a problem with the ecclesiarchy going, oh, the Emperor is a god, which the Emperor himself has said he isn't.
Oof.
It's not my fault that some ecclesiarchs ran into my bolter fire.
They just got in the way.
Yeah. That's what you get
If you do have the files, yeah, throw them over to me on Facebook, and I'll download them later and I'll have a look at them. If I can export them to laser, then I probably will and have some fun with them. Right. So, what got you into cosplay at the beginning? Like, what started it all? What made you decide, hey, I'm gonna cosplay?
I can specifically pinpoint not the date, but the situation. A colleague of mine introduced me to Evil Ted.
I love Evil Ted. He's so cool.
I've looked at cosplay from the outside for like 10, 15 years and always thought, I can't do that. I have no idea how to do that. And then someone linked me to Evil Ted's tutorials and how to do that. And it's like, hang on, I can do that. And I just bought a bunch of foam and made the monk from Abyss Odyssey. And the next step was, you know what? Let's make a Space Marine. And then the year after, when the Space Marine was finished, the first con I went to ever was a con that Evil Ted also attended, and he called me a rock star.
Ah, see, that's the best. As for who is Evil Ted, if you go to YouTube and type in Evil Ted, Merlin is very new to cosplay.
Oh, okay.
Merlin's very new to cosplay. If you go to YouTube and type in Evil Ted, he has so many amazing tutorials on how to do pretty much everything. Domes, masks, helmets, pauldrons, gauntlets, all the jazz. And he
lot of them
even has a website. You can go and buy the files. You can print them off, cut
Some
them
of them
out.
are for free.
Some of them are for free. Some of them are really good. The free ones. Some of
Yeah.
them are really good. I did buy his dome template to just add it to my collection.
I think I did too.
I
Essentially,
used the dome template for my pirate hat.
think
use the
of
dome
Evil
template
Ted
to wrap
as Evil Ted as the Bob Ross of cosplay. He's Bob cosplay.
He is cosplay. He's awesome. I used his dome templates for the dome here for this helmet.
Yar!
Pirate hat. Yar! Pirate hat. Also, if you're going to use Evil Ted's files, get one of these. They're super cool. It's a pattern notch maker. You just notch patterns with it. It's really handy when you're doing like pattern marks and stuff. Really
Must
handy.
admit, I don't generally use registration marks.
Oh, I used to not bother, but now I do because genuinely, it's insane. You know, it's for example, I didn't use it once when I was making the shoulder for the Space Marine, and one piece was too long, so I had to rip it back apart with a heat gun. Had to rip it back apart and then do it again. So I started using registration marks because they're the best.
I occasionally use it when I make my own patterns, which thankfully happens very rarely. Only if I have to.
No, fair enough. I'm not sure if my exclamation mark social actually has my YouTube page on it, but I'm going to have to change that if not. But if you want to find me on YouTube and you haven't, it's I'm Warrior Cosplay. And do you have a YouTube page?
I have one.
Yeah, if you want to throw the link, if you want to throw the link in chat and go ahead, you're more than welcome.
I have to look it up. Hang on.
Well, you don't
There's
know
like-
your own YouTube name?
It doesn't have the sort of custom URL yet.
There you go. So I've got my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, but I don't have my YouTube on there. I will have to go into Moobot and change that at some
There
point.
we
But that's
go.
not a problem.
If you want to see Des and me dance in costume, you can look at the link I just put in chat.
Yes, I love that one. That one's a lot of fun. Right.
It also has the first service for Brand and everyone on the banner of
Absolutely.
Supreme Courage.
I love that. I love that.
And soon, technically, it already has the reveal trailer for Project Redacted.
Dun dun dun, but no one can see it, so that's all. Just subscribed. Awesome.
Ooh, very much. Thank you very much.
Right, next question I've got for you is, what would your advice be for someone starting off in the cosplay world? For example, we've got Merlin. Merlin is in the chat. Merlin's starting off. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting off?
Aside from what we already said, like don't bother too much about which tool to use. Just use the right one for yourself. It would be a sharp knife is safer than a blunt knife.
Yeah, that's
Because with a blunt knife, you're more likely to slip and jab it into your whatever. Plus,
Your eye.
Well, hopefully not. But how did you? If you cut your stuff like that, maybe. Anyway, and the sharp knife will also get you much cleaner edges, which are a lot better to glue.
Yes, they are a lot better.
Also, contact cement works with pressure, not with time.
yeah, if
And
it
certainly
just
not with
just
the amount.
just a little thin amount, and then let it go tacky or dry even, and then just push it
Yes.
together. Just push it together like, all the way up the seam. You don't have to fucking just push it together. You don't have to just gently put it. Just squeeze the seams together. It's fine.
Also, if I may turn towards France for a second, wear gloves when gluing.
You can also look directly into the camera as well if you like, because I don't wear gloves when gluing. I do sometimes. They're here. Look, they're literally here. I have got gloves here, but they get incredibly sweaty, and sometimes I just don't.
Yeah.
And luckily though, this contact cement, there's no massive warning labels on it saying like there's one saying don't breathe it in and it's flammable, but nothing's saying like, don't touch it with your hands, it'll burn through your skin. So
Oh, hush, Sue.
gloves are overrated.
I know a guy who So I wear gloves inside of my larger costumes, especially the chaplain, because I don't want to get the Space Marine chaplain sweaty. But I use fabric gloves. But I once saw another Space Marine cosplayer wearing rubber gloves underneath his Space Marine gloves, and when he took them off, essentially he had like a bunch of filled condoms. It looked like.
I know exactly what you mean. I've done the same, but now with my Space Marine, I just I do wash some stuff. I wash the gloves, the balaclava. I wash,
Yeah.
that I just wear my normal clothes underneath it. I take loads of spare t-shirts and trousers and stuff with me when I go to a con, because the amount of cons I do, I sweat a lot. I mean, ask poor Harry. Harry has to put stuff back on me when they're incredibly sweaty, so he suffers through that a little bit. But he knows I love him for it. He knows I love him. So tell me, what is your funniest cosplay story? Because I tell you what, if me and Harry were here right now, I have more cosplay stories to tell you than anything Harry and I have.
Do I have a specifically funny one?
Well, I mean, something that was kind of funny that happened. That kind of thing. Right?
Oh yeah. So last Comic Con Germany in Stuttgart, on Saturday, there were these two girls that were dressed in. Is it Two Broke Girls?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And they came up to me. So what I do when I'm in costume, it doesn't matter if it's the Space Marine or Mercy. I tend to yell a lot, especially with this chaplain. It kind of comes with the territory. Someone will go, "Oh, death to the false emperor," and I will turn around and go, "For the emperor!" And they heard me do that a couple of times, and they were like, "Hey, so tomorrow we'll be attending the group cosplay stage as Space Marines." It's like, "Ooh, you have my attention."
You have my attention.
And they asked me if I could do that while they were on stage, because they were super nervous and stuff. And it's like, yeah, sure, why not? And so when the time came to get to the cosplay contest, we went outside of where the competition took place, and we were like, say, 50 to 100 meters back, and way up high, because the competition took place in the lower part of the atrium. If you've been to Stuttgart, you know what I mean. And then they come on stage and they do their thing, and we yell, "For the emperor!" And then when I went home, I watched the recording of the video of the competition, and you saw them. The camera was really close to the stage, and you see these two girls doing their thing, and one of them yells at the camera, going, "Ah!" And then a second later, you hear me from all the way back, going, "For the emperor!" That was kind of funny.
That I like, because I have been told a bunch of times as well that I'm just obnoxiously loud, which is a good thing.
Loud, you're appropriately loud.
It's a good thing, because like I've done so many events. I've been comparing and stuff, and I've done MC work and stuff for different events. That being loud is good, but especially when you're a Space Marine, it's kind of good to be loud as well. But
yes.
I think my favorite thing I've ever done was I walked into, there was a hall in Swansea that we go to a convention there called Swansea Comic and Gaming Convention. The floors are really old wooden floors, but they're hollow floors. So it's got beams and they're hollow
for stomping.
Floors. So when I would stomp without the mega stomp, ignore the audio, but that was before I had the audio. When I would stomp, it would echo and people could hear me. I had a friend of mine over at a cosplay table right at the very other side of the hall. This place is full. I walk to the door. I walk like 3 steps, and apparently she turns to a friend of mine and goes, "Hey, I think I hear Dovrig." And they all turned around to just see me walking down the aisle. Boom, boom, boom. They were just like, "Hey, there he is." So it's
we're
either,
hard to miss.
They either hear my Ghostbusters proton pack playing the Ghostbusters theme, or they hear me, or they see they hear the Space Marine stomping. So. But loud is good. Loud is good.
I actually have another kind of funny story. The first time I was at Stuttgart, I met this other Matt Brandon, who is also in a couple of the pictures, and he's dancing next to Des and I on the video. And I mentioned to him that we had met Evil Ted earlier. He's like, "Oh, Evil Ted is here, let's go!" And he was hanging out with the Inquisitionstrupp with a huge display. And we sort of recruited them into sort of leading us there, because it's a con. There's lots of crowds, and we're huge. And so one of them goes, we had sort of an entourage, really. There were like 3 guys behind us, 3 guys in front of us, and 1 guy in front of them. Sort of, please make space, And if that didn't help, I would just yell, "Make way for the Emperor's finest!" And you could just see everyone turn around and instantly step aside. It's like Moses parting the Black Sea.
Honestly, exactly the same here, except I have Harry, and he just goes iron with it, just like space marine. I would love if Harry just shouted like if Harry would just shout randomly iron within just to get people to move the fuck out of the way. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just iron within, and just like move. He will hopefully soon when he does his Iron Guardsman. That would be super cool. So, hey, we have reached the end of the list. Can I just say a huge thank you for you coming on to my stream?
Thank you for having me.
We shall drop your links in chat again, along with my links as well. I will change my ! social so it gets to the point where my YouTube is in there as well. I think accent is more British when you're doing Space Marine. Yeah, it is. I've noticed that myself, and it's like, Space Marines are British. And he said, yeah, there you go. Harry said when he's the Iron Guardsman, he will do it. And I'm like, yeah, that's
Space Marines are from everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. There's apparently a chapter of Welsh Space Marines, and it just makes me so happy. I hope there is. I don't know if that's true. Not confirmed. I've not looked it up. I just got told, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Does Wales even still exist?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I reckon Wales exists, of course. Like, so I reckon Wales is probably the most prominent place. It's the stronghold of. It's where they get all their coal from. Because we have all the coal.
J and
yes. No, don't worry. I do know about the thing. Don't worry. I've planned it out. Don't worry. I've planned it out. I can't exactly forget the reveal because there's a giant blue sheet behind, and I've seen the video, so it's don't you worry. I know. I remember. But I just want to say, genuinely, a huge thank you for you taking the time to come on. I genuinely love that people come on. Does Wales exist?
But yeah, I'm genuinely honored to be welcomed and interviewed by the Herald of Brand. So.
Oh man, I tell you what, it's nice that we sort of met that way, didn't we? Really?
Yes.
If I remember rightly, we just met that way, which is really nice. I love that because. It brought a lot of people together for a good cause. Yep. For a good cause.
Indeed.
So
one that is still ongoing.
Always.
If you don't know,
the page is still going, and it's always. I've got him up on my wall. He's always there. His banner will always be there. So don't you worry. I know. Don't you worry. So.
Oh no, it's. And the brand by the way, Project Redacted is big connected to Brand.
When I saw that, by the way, genuinely. Well done. Like, I hopefully, by the way, if you could also share the link when we're done to Brand's Great Company.
Oh, I will.
Awesome.
I will share it everywhere.
Right. Everyone, be prepared for probably one of the best reveals I've seen in a long time.
Please,
if you guys would... Do you know what we'll do? Before we drop the link in, do you want to do the reveal behind? Do you want to move your camera up and do the reveal behind you, or would you rather do the reveal on the video? How would you like to do it?
I think the video first, and then I'll do the.
That's fine. What we'll do, we'll drop the link in chat. So my mod, if Dragonheart could drop the link in chat for everyone to have a watch. What we'll do is you and I will have a bit of a chat when the link pops up. We'll have a bit of a chat. And I would play the video on stream. Sadly, this computer is nowhere near powerful enough to actually do it. I tried to play a video the other day of me with my Orc Chopper, and it did not work. It crashed the stream completely. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please watch the big reveal. And while everyone goes to watch the big reveal, is everything ready behind you?
I hope so. I haven't tried it, but I hope I can go.
Do you want to be sure? Do you want to move your camera up a bit so that we can see more of the top as well? So that we can... There we go. There you go. That's the view.
There's a little... I should have done that. It looks like I have a halo, which, considering I'm named Angelos, is... I hadn't noticed.
The power of the potato computer. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to call this computer the potato computer because, I mean, look, I appreciate it. I love this computer. It's like without this, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. And I thank Tux so much every day for giving me this computer. Literally giving it. He doesn't want anything in return. I mean, I am going to help him with his cosplay, but he didn't go, I'll give you a computer if you help me with my cosplay. He just said, here's a computer, da-da-da. A couple of days later, he was like, hey, I'm doing this cosplay thing. Would you give me some advice? And then I offered to use my workshop if he ever needed it. So I'd love to help him with that. So hopefully people are starting to watch the video. So what we'll do is...
It's probably too late now. If you want to if anyone wants to record themselves watching that video, that would be also pretty cool.
Ooh, a nice reaction video. That would be
cool.
Because I am potato.
I am potat.
I am potato. As I said, I will be saving up for a different GPU for this because there's a GPU that you can get that you can tell OBS to run through the GPU and it does all the calculations for you. It takes all the power from the CPU and does it all on the card, allowing you to do other stuff with the CPU. So maybe the streams won't crash so much. We'll see. It'd be nice to have a card anyway. Well, that trailer just gave me goosebumps. Yeah, it's an amazing trailer. So, would you... Honestly, this is going to be like the best reveal. I'm going to say that's probably enough time for everyone to watch it. So
I hope so.
Big reveal in 3.
I have no idea if this works.
1, reveal. Yeah.
It's way too bright. Hang on, let me turn off the lights.
No, you're all right. Don't you worry. Everyone can see. That is awesome. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. So, for everyone who wants to ask any questions about said Space Marine cosplay, I just absolutely love it. It is absolutely... By the time I'm sending you me video and pictures told me not to tell others. It was torture.
Harry was involved in the building construction as well, because remember when Des asked you if her friend should just do hammered look all over?
So did you get that idea from when I did the Orc Chopper with the hammered look, or did you?
No.
No, okay. I just wanted to be sure because I wasn't sure because that would be really cool. I tell you what, though, now that people have seen that, would you pan the camera down a touch so we can see the knee?
Yeah.
So the knee. There it is. That knee is. I hope you understand that my favorite part of your cosplay is that knee.
Same.
Okay. I don't get me wrong. I love the entire cosplay. I think that is an absolutely stunning bit of cosplay work that you have done. It is absolutely beautiful. All the details you've done, trust me, as someone who doesn't have a crazy amount of detail on his Space Marine, like I don't have much detail on my Space Marine, but as someone who knows how long detail takes, like I know what details are like. I try to go minimalist with my details. I don't go too far. But if I was to ever do a chaplain, I can assure you I would probably go to that level of detail, absolutely, because it is absolutely beautiful. But
I mean, I just hope to be blinged.
I just hope you understand that knee is.
Same.
My
I
favorite part of that entire cosplay. So genuinely, can everyone just give a massive? Everyone clap in chat. Everyone type clap in chat. I absolutely love that.
Stop it.
But
so the trick for details is cheating. Because all the stuff you see on the arms, like the floral patterns and stuff, that's wallpaper.
Look at that! Everyone is giving you a big round of applause in chat. That's absolutely awesome. You do amazing work.
I need the helmet.
No, blush on camera, damn you! Blush on camera. Look, you really have. You've gone all red in the cheeks. That's
Shut up!
Awesome. Genuinely, you deserve
You're making a mid-30 man blush. Congratulations.
Can everyone join me in saying thank you so much to Angelus Knox of Impatient Cosplay? Thank you so much for coming on, and I really hope that reveal was everything you wanted it to be.
It was. I hope it was worth the wait.
It was so worth the wait. The only thing I needed was confirmation that it was a 40K based cosplay. That way, I have no idea what it is, but at least I know I am on edge because I want to know what it is. Because 40K. Anything Warhammer related. I don't care if it's Tau, Space Marine, Imperial Guard, anything. As long as it's 40K related, I love it. Not that I don't love non-40K cosplays, but coming from you of all people, the fact that, if 40K cosplay, and I was like, it's gonna be good. It's so awesome.
Fun fact. The new Space Marine suit, the Spirit of the Word, which is the chapter master of my chapter, there's still two pieces missing because it would be too tall to fit inside this room otherwise. There should be, as you've seen in the trailer, there should be 2 lanterns and they're over here because otherwise it doesn't fit.
There's the lanterns. They don't quite fit. But when they are on, I can assure you they look absolutely beautiful. They are absolutely amazing.
What's kind of hard to see, and I'm kind of sad about that, is the glass is... Hang on,
I tell you what, though, you realize, I hope you very much understand that I'm going to be picking your brains about how you made those, made the lanterns and stuff. I hope you understand that, because I've watched Adam Savage's video, but I'm totally gonna...
You can kind of tell that there's like engravings.
Yeah, there's engravings. I see really, really cool little engravings on the top there. But that is awesome. That is genuinely an absolutely Amazing cosplay. Thank you once again for joining me on my stream. Hopefully we can do a part 2 at some point. I'm hoping that we're going to do a part 2 with a bunch of people, but I've got such a long list of people to get through that I'm super, super happy about that. But I was really happy to have you on and do the big reveal. So
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
No, it's fine. Genuinely, you're helping me more than anything, and it means a lot. So thank you very much to Impatient Cosplay, and thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you all again soon.
See ya.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.